Hi, it's Ms. Dorset from CaribCultura. In creating community content here in Mi Isla, it was very important to construct a community where Caribbean people all over the world could support one another and also be inspired by Caribbean entrepreneurs. And Caribbean people have made significant contributions to society on a global scale. Today, I would love you to awaken your wellness and meet Miss Shonda Caines as she talks about her ability to give wellness secrets all the way from the Caribbean.
Miss Shonda Caines, you are in the hot seat today. We are going to get started with what I'm calling our community content. Okay, so today we're going to be focusing on Caribbean entrepreneurs in the diaspora. And we're going to go through a couple questions. No pressure at all. Just feel comfortable with just having a conversation. But I want people to get to know you because I have known you for some time, and I think that you are a powerhouse. I think that you're awesome. And I think that you have a story to tell that could inspire other people as well. So
thank you.
We are going to get started. Well, first, just to kind of smooth things in, tell us about what your ties to the Caribbean are. Like, where were you born and or raised?
So, welcome, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to this awesome program that Kanisha is putting together for us in the Caribbean. I am born and raised in the United States Virgin Islands on the island of St. Thomas. And that's where I was born and raised. And my roots on my mother's side goes to Tortola, the British Virgin Islands. And on my father's side, it goes to Nevis, St. Kitts and Nevis.
Awesome. So growing up, have you spent any time on either island, the British Virgin Islands and or Nevis?
Yes, absolutely. I spent more time on Nevis once I graduated from college and really connected with that side of the family. I think it was for Mama's 80th birthday, which was, I think, 2010. That's when I really met all my aunts. And I was like, whoa, it's a lot of y'all. It was like, Mama had, I think, 11 or 12 kids. And I was like, Auntie, what's your name again? It was just like 8 aunts. So it was a lot of them. So that's when I started spending time with that side of the family. I did spend time in St. Croix as well, because my dad's oldest sister, she lives there. So after Hurricane Marilyn, when we had to split between BCB and Udurkin for a little bit in 96,
yes.
nerdy. And I told my mom, I didn't really want to be split. I don't think I was going to learn enough. And I was like, can I go to my aunt? She was like, fine. If she said you could come, you could come. And I was gone. So I went over in October. And then by the time got situated there, I was like, St. Croix is boring. I'm going back home. So I did. And I went back, and then I came back with you guys. So I was gone for a little bit of time. But I also spent a lot of time in Tortola, because that's where my mom was born and raised. And then when she was pregnant with me, she moved to St. Thomas. And then, of course, on my dad's side, I have sisters or sister and brothers there. So I was always in the BVI, especially in the summer times. I spent my summers there. And as I got older and I didn't want to be home and be bothered on St. Thomas, I would just call my dad and tell him, send me money. And my mom would be at work. And I was like, I'm going Tortola. Gone. Yes, I did spend time both places. Absolutely.
Okay. I know my side of the family from Tortola as well. And at the time when we were younger, we were spending every summer there. But the funny thing is, at that time, when you're younger, we didn't really know how blessed we were. We were just like, oh, we gotta go to Tortola again.
Yes. Now we crave it.
Exactly. So that's good. But one thing I always admire about you is that you are always driven. You always are determined. So like if you make up your mind to do something, it's funny because even at that age, I remember looking back at you, I'm like, geez, she knows what she wants. Like, how is she so driven? Like, what do you think like motivates you, or has always been that motivating factor within you? Is it just your personality? What is it about you that just makes you just have that drive?
I think for me, growing up, being an older sibling and was thrust into responsibilities earlier. I started cooking at the age of 9 for a family of anywhere between 9 to 10 people, depending on when Granny stayed with us. That affected it. And then also just being inquisitive. You know, we were a part of Moot Court together. I wanted to become the first female governor of the Virgin Islands. I wanted Donna Christensen's job. So that driven part was there. I know many years ago, my mom said that they realized early they didn't have to push me because I pushed myself. But I think also wanting to get away, right? If I'm honest, I was like, I'm tired of being Cinderella. I am bouncing. You know, because Kanisha, you remember a lot of our classmates went to UVI. I said, oh, nobody.
Yeah.
I got to go. So I think for me, just realizing that school was a place where I can do me. I didn't have to really take care of younger siblings and be responsible for stuff that I didn't want to be responsible for. So that really helped. And of course, you know, being a part of everything that I was a part of. I think I just shared that with someone recently coming out of school. Because at one point, my mom was like, what's the point of me making you uniform every year when you are wearing a club outfit 4 days out of the week? I think the only day I didn't wear an outfit for some club was on Fridays for the radio station. You know, remember when we went down? But other than that, I was always in a uniform. So I think some of it is, a lot of it is just personally driven, but then also it's realizing that there's opportunities other places. Then you got to remember, we traveled for FBLA. Right. We traveled with the French club that your mom ran. But you tell her I said hi. I just love that woman. Milena, she's a trip. You know, we traveled for that. So I think being exposed early, especially from EBO, Emmanuel Benjamin Allen's the best elementary school.
Debatable.
It is debatable. But just from young, being exposed to that and then having mentors around me from young. I had a really good mentor. We're still in touch right now, just helping me out with the whole school, college, helping me to navigate. I think that really helped. And wanting to do better than the generation before you.
Right.
Yeah, that's correct. The one before you, to be able to perform and progress, and knowing that you have so many people looking up to you. Because for me, I have 6 sisters behind of me, right? And however many brothers. So it's a lot of weight on your shoulders if you choose to carry it.
Right. Awesome. Well, tell me, when you did actually get out, what kind of adversity, like, did you face any type of adversity or any type of culture shock upon coming out of or leaving your hometown?
Yes, for me, absolutely. I went to a HBCU. I went to Johnson C. Smith University. First, I was looking at Fisk University. But with my mom being a chef and being exposed to a lot of tourists coming into the territory, Charlotte was talked about a lot. So I shifted gears. And when I came here, I was able to link up with people from the VI, right, which was a blessing. But then I realized that, no offense, right? No offense, watch this, but I was like, Black people in the Caribbean and Black people on the mainland, I said we were so different. Or I should say students. And because I was already exposed to being a part of different academic programs, being a part of the Junior Statesman of America, being a part of the University of Texas, where we crammed within a summer, a whole school year. Right. I got there and I was like, oh no, this ain't for me. I was just like, I guess when you look at it now, I guess they'll think this young lady with an accent is bougie. I was like, their traveling capabilities. Because I traveled all the time when I was in high school. I was like, do the walls extend? I was like, I'm vegetarian. This food ain't gonna work. You know, so for me, realizing the level of discipline and focus was not there. Even with the Islanders, they started saying when the grades came out for the first semester, I'm going to do like Shonda. That was a word on the campus that was funny because their grade sucks. Right. And I had a 3.5 and I was still like, this is not acceptable because I went to sleep at night. I didn't stay out partying because how I looked at it, Kanisha, was like, okay, you live 90 minutes from here. So I said, if there's an emergency, your family just have to get in a car. I said, mine have to go down to the airport, find out about a ticket, pass out when they hear it's $1,800. You know what I'm saying? Go home and pack and have to come deal with some foolishness that I did. And I did not want that burden on my mother or my father, especially my mom, because at that time she was working 2 jobs and I still had 4 sisters under me. So I realized that I wanted more. I was already exposed. So I turned around and left. One thing culturally, you know how we make jokes with friends from home and we might be a little rough with what we say, but we know it's playful. I realized real quick that could be offensive to my American classmates.
Right.
So things like that culturally, of course, the ignorant comments that we would hear. Did you live in a tree? Did you treat a tree? You know, just a foolishness.
Right.
Just a foolishness that we heard. But I was already exposed to a few things before I came to college. One of them was an unfortunate thing. But when I went to Texas in 96, I went to the library and this Caucasian man, I think I was coming into the elevator and he was coming out and he actually spit at me. Yes, it was awful. I haven't really shared it online. And I told my classmates about it, who are American, and they were of different ethnicities and race. They went chasing through the library trying to find him. It was really bad. And then that night when I went to sleep, I actually woke up screaming. I woke up the whole hall. So it was, that was my first experience with, I would say, at least blunt racism, and only being 16 or 17 at that time. It was traumatic. So for me, it really opened my eyes. And then hearing that, you know, the drink Snapple,
yeah,
it was saying that was KKK. So I've never drank that. And then Church's Chicken is here. And it was like Church's Chicken is KKK. So I didn't even go in there. Some people like go and still investigate. No, this little Caribbean chick, who people were back home. I was thinking about it the other day, and I will put it on social media. I've never been in, I've never eaten at Church's Chicken, and I'm gonna tell them why. I was just thinking about it yesterday.
Yeah.
So culturally, there were some things I had to learn about really quickly. And those are some of them that comes to me. But also culturally, I realized the importance of us sticking together, because there was a hurricane coming through. I think I was senior, our first year at Smith, because after my first year, I left. And all of the islanders from St. Croix or from the VI, we met at the chapel on campus. I still remember it. And we held hands and we were praying because a hurricane was coming through and it was set to hit St. Thomas area or the VI. I don't remember which hurricane it was. We could definitely look it up. But so the importance of being tight. When one person went down the street for a calling card, oh my gosh, we're telling our age. All of us went down the street for one calling card.
Right.
Really, so we stuck together. We saw the importance of really sticking together on campus. And then once I transferred to UNCC, which is a predominantly white institution, it was the same thing, finding the Caribbean tribe and realizing that a lot of the different ethnic groups or those who migrated, whether from Africa or India, they stuck together. And I found our tribe. So for me, culturally, I definitely had to stand my ground. And as I got further up in my academic years, when people say ignorant stuff, you know, I didn't take it.
Right.
First, it was a lot to take in as somebody that was 18 or 19.
That's true. It's funny that you said that, because I remember just looking back, I think on times where just my mouth would get me in trouble. And I used to be like, whatever, I'm going to stop him. You know?
Yeah, right.
Actually gonna do it, but I was like, try me and find out, you know. And then me thinking, I'm like, what was wrong with me?
Right, yeah. We are quick at the mouth in the Caribbean. I don't care what territory or what country you're from in the Caribbean. That mouth will mash somebody up. And then you'll be like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
That we would say. And you're right, it could be a threat. We could have been locked up. Thank God we weren't. But yeah, I did have a hot mouth too. Thank you for bringing that up. In all transparency, I had one too. It used to get me in trouble. And I remember this one lady, Miss Kirkpatrick, I called her, she was real light skinned. You know, back home we would say Claire. I just meant a red. Oh, she was hot. I was Claire. And I guess she knew what it meant, and it was not tasting good. I am not Claire. I am light skinned. I will not forget it. It was my freshman year. And then I had to do work study with her. So I had to fix that relationship.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she did not like it.
That is funny. That is funny. Well, yeah, it's crazy that we have the similar experiences, and I think that coming from the Caribbean is just some of the things that you realize when you talk to other people from the Caribbean that they do have similar experiences. They went through the same thing.
Right.
So it's good to have these conversations.
Absolutely.
So tell me, what is it that you miss most about living at home, living in the Caribbean?
I think for me, one of the things is good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Just yesterday, my friend called me and I said, good morning. Nicole said, hey. I said good morning. I said, good morning. I said, I cannot take you home. You're going to get cussed out. You're going to get cussed out. She said, I said, hey. I said, and I said, good morning. Repeat it after me. Good morning. You always want to come home with me. You cannot come home. I said, y'all Americans do not understand
Right.
of it. So I think that is the biggest thing. And for me, it is very refreshing to the point I went home 1 year. And I think the day before I went downtown and everybody, I was in Tatola, good morning, good afternoon, wherever. I think I was out running, but it was already work time after 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. Came back the next day to Charlotte and I ran errands. Nobody spoke. Wow. I nearly cried and got on a plane and was like, bump, Babylon. It was that obvious. And you know, our classmate Caesar, he's put it online before where he's held the door for them and then he would cuss them out because they didn't say thank you.
Right.
But after a while, it could really eat at you. So of course the food, and with me being plant-based vegan, just the abundance of fruits and vegetables, the herbs, right? For me being able to hike and get on the beach and run and train, all those things I absolutely miss. And then of course, family. But when you really think of it, the big thing is that good morning, good afternoon, because whatever culture you go into, whatever island you go into, that level, you may not have any customer service after that. But at least they say good morning, can I help you? So that definitely is probably one of the biggest things is the cultural part is the mannerism. And then of course the food, all the fruits and vegetables, walking barefoot at home. I did that when I was in Nevis with my niece, my little cousins. I was like, oh, they're outside eating fruit with no shoes. I said, well, I'm gonna do the same thing. Because when I looked up, it was a mountain. And when you look down, if you ran straight down from where mama lived, you run straight into the ocean within 5 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that manners thing is huge. I know for me culturally, I had to shift the atmosphere around me. So I used to be intentional, like when they come in, I'd be like, good morning. Good morning, how are you? You know, and eventually they got around. So like in the office, they know make it a point because they know that it's like, well, good afternoon to you too, you know?
Right.
So, and that kind of shifted that culture because you are so right. And you so right about that cuss out. I remember one time I went home, I jumped on a safari and I was like, morning, but I didn't say it loud enough. Well, sir, the man said, well, good morning. And I was like, I said good morning.
Yeah. It's ingrained in us.
I said, well, when I didn't hear you exactly what I said. I didn't hear you. I was like, I said.
And he didn't apologize either, right? No.
No, not at all. Not at all. So definitely we do take that seriously and take it to heart for sure.
I told her, get ready. Because you know the group, what's happening in St. Thomas? Recently somebody said they're moving home. What are some things? Yeah. Everybody said your manners. They said before you ask a question, say good morning, good afternoon. And that's what I was telling Nicole about it. I said in this group, I said if it was 1,000 comments, 1,200 of them said the same thing. Bring your manners with you. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so shifting gears, I would like to know what motivated you to start EBN Cuisine, okay? Instead of solely settling for like a traditional job. Like what was it that said, you know what, I need to do something. I need to do something for me.
I think for me, you know, I was on that political legal path. And then for me, I lost 90 pounds in 07. So fall 07. It's just, I just celebrated my 15th 90-pound weight loss this past fall. Thank you. So I shifted gears. And for me, I come from a family of culinarians, and I've been, I would say, plant conscious since elementary, because when I was in elementary school at EBO, I remember, and I only started sharing this recently, but I remember the cow telling me I did not give them permission to drink my milk.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I decided, I believe, that I was going to grow up and be a lawyer. I said, okay, well, I'll protect you. I will represent you. But I didn't tell anybody, because I think at that point, my mother would have probably put me at the 5th floor. So I never told anybody about it. So I think then that the awareness came, and then getting a physical in Tatola, I remember had omelets, had enjoyed it. I was about 12. And the doctor just asked what you had for breakfast. And I said, Daddy's omelet. He said, well, it could be high in cholesterol if you eat too much of it. Well, that was the last of the eggs. No more eggs for me. And then from there, we got goats in the yard and stuff. So if you, born and raised on the mainland, yes, we got goats running around in the yard. I remember seeing a goat, and then I didn't see the goat. And then my uncle was like, come, let's go eat. And I said, well, where's the goat? He said, well, we about to eat the goat water soup. I said, so the goat and the goat water? I said, yeah. So that was it. Kanisha. It's been a journey for me in terms of the plant-based space, but just growing up with my parents, both of them, and then my aunts having restaurants in a while. Trust me, I ran from it for a while, because I did the wellness part, right? After I lost my 90 pounds, I said, I only see people online that have lost weight, right? You don't know, because it's a commercial and it's around the new year.
Right.
I said, I don't know how to keep it off, because I don't know anybody else. And that's when I became a certified personal trainer, weight loss specialist, and all those good things. But then cooking and putting it online, people kept asking and asking. And then my youngest sister, she always wanted to be a chef like my mom. And once she did it and people kept asking, I was like, darn. But I knew that it had to encompass my morals and my ethics. And that's how EBN's Vegan Cuisine was born. First, I had Earthbound and Nutty, which was the wellness. But now it's EBN's Vegan Cuisine. And EBN stands for Earthbound and Nutty. So that's how I really did that. But in terms of that, I had an opportunity to leave where I worked with insurance, Allstate, actually, after 10 years. Right at my 10th anniversary, they were saying, we only keep in like 5 of you guys. And they were like, but we know that you're deep into wellness. Because at this point, they were bringing me in to stretch the whole company when we had meetings and stuff. I would have contracts on the printer. My coworkers would be like, I think this is yours. So by then, they knew what I was doing.
Right.
I had that opportunity. The last day, I went straight to the post office. I went straight to the UPS store and got me a PO box. And that's how it really started with the wellness part. And then EBN was birthed. But I actually have 2 businesses. I have Awaken Your Wellness, because I tell people mine is woke. So mine is Awaken Your Wellness. And then I have also EBN's Vegan Cuisine. But come next year, I'm going to be bringing them under one brand, under one umbrella with a new name. I haven't released it yet because I need to trademark it.
Right.
I heard it will be snatched. Exactly. Powerful, and it's timeless. So yeah, that's really how I did it. Now I have worked some temporary jobs when I feel like doing it, and other stuff like that, which I will pick up some more in the coming year, because I got a work vehicle, a work truck for EBN, and I don't like debt. I mean, of course, I have a mortgage and I have student loan, but anything else besides that annoys me. So my goal is to, how can I expedite paying that off? Because this October made a year. I was like, by the cook of the crook, I got pick seaweed. This thing got to be gone, right? Right. But, different ways to bring in income. But outside of that, my day-to-day is truly under my both businesses.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, tell everybody about EBN Cuisine. Like, what is it that what solutions do you provide for your customers?
So with EBN's Vegan Cuisine, we have niche down tremendously. We were doing a lot of meal prep, and I was like, this is too much work. This ain't for me anymore. I wanted to shift. So for me, I want to move towards more of the educational part, because I truly believe I'm an educator by naturally. So now with EBN Vegan Cuisine, we are offering, actually, it's good that you're having this, because all of my the 4 main things that I offer at EBN's Vegan Cuisine are all infused with Caribbean flair. I speak about that. That's in my copy. That's in my content online, where we offer authentic Caribbean herbal sea moss, right? And it's infused with herbs that helps you help yourself thrive. And then we also have organic, unsweetened Caribbean herbal teas, right? And then we also have authentic all-purpose Caribbean seasonings. And then, of course, we have authentic Caribbean juices. Nice. So those are the 4 main products that we have. We still do a little bit of catering when I choose to do it. And then also I do speaking engagements, and I would do like different programs and challenges online. So if there are people who are out there that want to be able to transition to a more so plant-based whole food lifestyle, I can coach them on that. So in terms of the services, I can help you transition to a plant-based lifestyle or to infuse your lifestyle. I don't like the word diet. And then a lot of people in the Charlotte area, if somebody gets sick or they're about to get sick, they send them to me. Yeah. Yeah. And I help them in terms of, I tell them it got to go back to the herbs. And I use the herbs that I'm aware with, and 99% of it. So when I tell you I'm dripping Caribbean, I am dripping Caribbean. Unapologetically, I am. And so many Caribbean people, even classmates of ours and people that live at home, actually, just like with your tots. It's amazing, isn't it? Isn't it a great feeling to know that they could get that at home? Yes. To get it from you. It's a beautiful thing, guys, that are listening and watching this. We cannot explain to you how great it feels that you have honed a craft that we will forever be working on, and have people overseas that can readily get it, choose to purchase from our business and to share. Like the other day, June just put that she approved it. And when this young lady ordered, I know it was because of her. Though she live in Georgia, she has a 340 area code. Right. And I know it was because of June just simply sharing in her stories. All she put was, I approve. Yes. And boom, I got an order like that. So this community that you are working to curate, I could tell you thank you for doing so, because knowing that we can get things from people from home makes a difference. That's why a lot of people say they come to me for the authentic Caribbean juices. And I tell myself, I don't mind if others do it, because I could say, did you grow up climbing a mango tree? Do you know how it is to get a mango off of a tree and eat it? No, you do not. Yeah. So Tanisha, it was like, I can taste the authenticity in it. Yeah. Just like with your tots. You are honoring your grandmothers because you watched them, and now you have molded to the point where it's a lot of them, but it's still a lot of you as well. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, Susie over here making tot, but has Susie ever been to the Caribbean? No. Right. I am going with Kanisha, whether I know you or not, just because you're from the Caribbean. But when you think about it, other cultures do it all the time. True. Yep. You know, because if I want some tacos or something specially made, or guacamole, and I need it for an event, I'm going to find me a Hispanic person. Right, right. I'm not going to apologize for it. Now, yours is probably good, but if I could find it from somebody and get that authenticity, right, that's what I would do. So that's the biggest part of EBN's Vegan Cuisine. It's really helping people not only to move from survival mode to thrive mode. And that's going to look different for all of us. And it has to go back to the earth, right? We have to go back to the earth to be able to do that. So that's the space that I'm in. And I'm going to be putting both of them up under the same brand next year, where I'll be doing more coaching. That's why I feel my sweet spot is coaching. But for me, my niche is professional women, high impact women. And that means you could be a homemaker. It doesn't matter. But if you are a decision maker and you understand that your time is precious, yes, and you need to outsource some things, that's where I come in. And the big thing for me is helping women understand that it's important to have healthy boundaries, right? Starting at home. If you have a partner in the house, you shouldn't be doing everything yourself. I've told ladies before, if you're doing everything in the house and you have children over the age of 9 or 10, you're in trouble. Right. If you have a partner and you're doing everything, you're in trouble. I said, now I don't get into spousal business, but you need to figure this out. Right, right. Tell them that, therapy is good. Because if you're carrying a weight in whatever organization you're going into, whether it's yours or not, or even with the decision making of the house, you shouldn't have to carry all the load. And I think the narrative when it comes to Black women, whether it's Afro-Caribbean women or Afro-Latina women or African-American women, is starting to change, where we need to outsource things. And outside of outsourcing it, how can you help, right? You have 3 beautiful children. You shouldn't be washing your son's clothes. He's a teenager.
Exactly.
You don't have anything else to do. Yeah, but I'm sure there are a million other things that you can be doing with your time, whether it's taking a nap, making some tots, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. So that's the big thing for me, is learning who I need to work with, and stepping out on faith and continuing to be creative. And like you, I'm honoring my my ancestors as well, especially the ones that just transitioned that I haven't even shared online, because a lot of times I don't think it sometimes it's not necessary, because my condolences don't bring them back. It doesn't do anything. So the last 12 months has been heavy, but it has propelled me. Like when my grandmother, that one I could speak on, when Granny passed, because of her, I brought out passion fruit juice in September of last year, because her birthday's in September. So learning how to not only do something because you want to do it, but how can I tie it intentionally and unapologetically back to my heritage, my culture. And a lot of people say that they really like that, and that's why they come to EBN, because it's purpose driven, and it's it's very intentional.
That is true. That is true. That is so true. And I'm very happy that you're in a mental space, because some of the things that you just said reminds me of a coaching session that I was in, and they talked a lot about making $1 million decisions, and make sure that you are intentional with every decision that you make, and going back to setting those boundaries, like not everything you're supposed to be doing. So you have to make sure that every decision that you make, you are showing up in the way that you can best represent yourself, and the way that you can best thrive in your creative space. And I think that that is great. And then one thing that I always keep in my mind is that sometimes when we are enlightened and when we can see a clear path, we oftentimes want to kind of go back and pull the other person up, but not everybody is in that space mentally. So what I have learned is that you have to kind of coach the people that are either mentally where you are or on the path to where you want to go. Instead of those, because just being the type of people that we are, especially that kind of community, we want to kind of go back and help everybody and say, listen, nurture. Exactly. So I like in your space as well, you might identify several people that could utilize your services. But as you said, you're very specific with your niche. They have to be like high performers. They have to be pretty much women that know they've made the decision. This is what they want to do. And you can help get them there for that area where they lack the gap. But I can see, especially in your space, you kind of want to go and help everybody, and you kind of look at I could definitely fix that issue that this person is having. But I think that is great that you have niched down, and that you know specifically the individuals that you can target, that you can get them the result faster, and then I'm not going to waste your time.
Right, that's the big part. And how I did that was this program that I'm in, I think the beginning of this year, last year, we had to look at our target audience. And it wasn't until one of my friends was like, yeah, that's who your target audience is. And it will surprise you who they are. But they're all high performing women. And I've worked with all of them. One of my personal training, or all of my personal training clients I've worked with since 2016, 2017, Caucasian women. They're not even African-American women or melanated women that are consistent. Customers and clients. Now, I do have some that's long-term. And, people don't have to necessarily order from us every week or every month. But they're like, if I need this, if I need SEMA, the state that you're in has it, but I'm going to go to who I know and trust. You see what I'm saying? So that's the thing for us with what we do. Is important to plant seeds, but to find those who you align with.
Yeah.
I did a lot of that this year, where intentional alignment.
Right.
Alignment, and then it's intentional alignment. And recently I put online that I've said so many no's in 2022 that I'm going to repeat, because a lot of people tag me when people are looking for a chef, or they want somebody to vend and stuff. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that anymore, or I'm not doing it. So I'll just like the post and say, thank you.
Right.
Last Sunday, I had an event that they begged me to be at. I didn't do it. It was too cold. I said, yeah, when I asked, Alexa, because she'll come on, what the temperature is going to be at 10 a.m., it was going to be 41. I said, no, ma'am, I am not packing up the truck then. It was like, you could do it. I could come and help. I said, look, born and raised Caribbean woman.
I know.
I said, I just didn't want to do it. The Lord will provide.
Right.
My power will provide. So learning to say no, and not being like in that survival mode.
Right.
Because you could cut back. If you eat out a lot, you could say, okay, I'm not going to do this engagement, this gig. And also, I'm not going to spend and eat out and go to wherever you go as often and be like, and I'll be okay. Right.
Right.
Learn how to be strategic as well. So for me, it's just figuring out who I've worked with and who I work well with. And I don't have any problems, because for me, professional women, they're the ones that's moving the country. Yeah. Women are moving the world. We're changing the world on whatever level, respectfully, right? But I realize time is of the essence. Yeah. And if you know that you could meet with me once or twice a week, and you're not wife, you're not mom, you're not running a corporation, it's a game changer for you, because now you feel better.
Right.
Now, I'll close with this. One of my clients, she just sent me a message in WhatsApp, and she was saying her sister said that, I want to gift you time with Shonda. So that's her Christmas gift. Wow. Because she knows how important it is. And she's a professor. And she always thanks me after the personal training. And it's been going on since 2018. She'd be like, thank you, Shonda. You're not only my trainer, but you help me set up healthy boundaries, even with my family and even with my job. Every semester she gets nervous. I'm like, you did this last time, so just kind of help calming the nerves. My other client going for a job that's double her income, and she's already six figures. I'm like, you can get it. So when I saw her, she's like, I really want it. I said, you know what? You just say whatever is for you is for you. Look at it as this was an opportunity for me to practice with interviewing. So I'm not a therapist. I don't plan to be one, but I tell you, I've been doing some semi-therapy work in there. But it feels good to be able to empower women.
Yes. Yep.
So for me too, my thing is the holistic space, because I got certified as a certified holistic health coach in January. And it's the top company in the country, and actually moving along as the world, where they're working out with the federal government and stuff like that. It wasn't cheap, but I know that I didn't just want to learn about health.
Exactly.
Yeah. Into like nutrition, and it went into like spirituality and stuff like that. And that's what people don't understand as well, that when people invest in themselves, and in their career, you're gonna have to pay. That's why once I had all these debts, that's why I didn't do a lot of my Facebook private programs this year as I did during COVID, because I needed to put my own mask on myself. Right. So now that I'm coming back out of it and I feel better, but like they said, a lot of times who's for you, they're going to wait on you.
Exactly.
They're gonna wait on you, because they're gonna be like, I done tried a whole lot of people. Kanisha is great, but she said she need a sabbatical for 30 days. Well, I'm gonna take one too.
It's true.
And then we're gonna come back, because it's a safe space that you create for people. So for me, I think the thing that I dominate in is being able to naturally create a safe space for women, and really helping them realize it's okay to use your voice. It's okay to tell your husband he need to take these kids that he wanted to school while you sleeping, or whatever the case may be. Right. And it works. So next year is hold me accountable. It's really getting, because I really feel for me, I'm really under the I haven't been out there the way that I should, and I know that I'm not doing a tenth of what I can do. But the other thing is taking care of yourself mentally. And I can't stress that enough for everyone, especially the women that will listen to this, that therapy, whatever it looks like, counseling is so important. And to know that whatever we want and need, we're going to have to work for it.
Exactly. Yeah.
We have to work for it. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I'm gonna say thank you for walking in your purpose because you are definitely changing lives. And I know that sometimes, we can all be faced with some type of adversity that might put us in that dark space. You never stay there and you always push through. So continue investing in yourself, continue increasing in your learning to increase your earnings. And
Right.
I wish you all the best. And
Thank
one last question before I go. If you had to choose, would it be coconut, pineapple, or guava?
Oh my gosh. I thought about this the other day. I don't know. It's not pineapple. Oh boy, you gotta worry about that. Them pineapple people are special. I love y'all if you're watching. But the other day I was thinking, would it be coconut or guava? I'm not sure. I know you team coconut all day.
Be on the fence, be on the fence. If you're gonna be on the fence, that's a good fence to
Yeah,
be
I'm gonna be on the fence because we've been friends for like forever. I want us to stay friends. So how about it's half coconut, half guava, and she can that.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you doing this for our culture and for thinking of me. I truly appreciate it, and I mean that because I know you're only gonna have a limited amount of people during this case study, and I truly appreciate you doing so. So thank you for that.
No problem. Well, thanks again, Shonda, and you take care.
You too. Take care.
Well, I got so much from that interview. Let me know in the comments what your favorite part from this interview was. But in the meantime, go ahead and follow EBN Vegan Cuisine on Instagram and be sure to check out their website and their amazing products at ebnvegancuisine.com. And you can see their juices, order seasoning, sea moss gel, and a host of other great products. And be sure to like them on Facebook at EBN's Vegan Cuisine. And I want to thank everybody who has participated in this case study. I really appreciate it. And y'all don't realize how much you have added to my life just by saying yes. Okay? Anyway, I am Mr. Set from CaribCultura. Thank you so much for watching.